Final Fantasy IV is my all-time favorite Final Fantasy game, and playing the recent Pixel Remaster version only reinforced this. Golbez, Fusoya, Cecil, Kane, all these characters combined to form a masterpiece. Which is why I'm extremely hyped to see where the next patch in Final Fantasy XIV takes us, patch 6.4. As we all stop to collect our irregular tomestones of mendacity for the next month, I'm sure most of us are wondering where the story is going to take us. So I thought I'd take a moment to use some of my knowledge of FF4 to make a few predictions on what could end up happening. Fair warning though, spoilers on both FF4 and FF14 will follow. Now, my first prediction is about Golbez. Because the thing about Golbez is, he's not really evil. Sure, it may seem that way, based on the perspective of the Scions, but from his perspective, he's trying to put an end to the painful cycle that has plagued the 13th for so many a millennia. Him and his people literally live in an eat or be eaten world, so it's hard to fault him for wanting to do something to change that. And in FF4, he was never really bad either, even though it may have seemed like it for most of the game. He was being controlled, used, essentially acting as a vessel for a being of a higher power, by Zemus, also known as Zeromus. Which is why I began to worry the minute Y'shtola gave Zero her name in the Void. Because with a name like that, similar to the final boss of FF4, there is a very, very high probability we may end up fighting against Zero at some point. I'm gonna be heartbroken. They've done such a great job growing and getting us to love her character over the last few patches, but I fear that's simply so it hurts all the more when they finally take her away from us. So here's hoping, if we do end up fighting her, she's being controlled, and that she can be saved in the end. Back to Golbez though. Even though he's not truly evil, he will choose to employ some more questionable methods in order to achieve his goal. We know he wants to tear down the veil between the Source and the 13th, and I think he's actually likely to succeed in this goal. However, he may have another ally to help him do it. An inadvertent and unwilling ally, but an ally nonetheless. You may know where I'm going with this. The dragon Ul'dah, Vitra's long-lost sister. For the last couple of patches, we've been on a quest to save Ul'dah. This is what led us to the 13th to begin with, to Zero, and ultimately to Golbez and his 4 archfiends. But what will become of Vitra's sister dragon? A prevalent theory I've seen floating around, and one that I pretty much agree with, is that Ul'dah is Golbez's shadow dragon. Or if she's not already, then that's what she will become. Remember in FF4 how Golbez had that shadow dragon that was never really touched upon in the story? He used it like once or twice with no real explanation. Well, that's all about to change, because now I think we can pinpoint where it came from, and who his dragon really is. There's a very good chance Ul'dah would be possessed, or tainted with void power, or something like that if this was the case. Because based on what we know of her, I don't think she would fight us and Vitra willingly. But she's been Golbez's prisoner for so long now, so who knows what's happened to her over all these years. My last theory is one I'm a bit hesitant to voice, because it's not really a happy one. I feel there's a high chance we see a beloved character's death in the next patch, or in patch 6.5 leading up to the expansion. Why, you may ask? Well, I think a clue lies in FF4. Remember the sage Tella? The old dude who yells, "You spoony bard," at Edward? He tries to single-handedly defeat Golbez to avenge his daughter Anna's death. By converting his own life force into energy, he's able to cast the forbidden spell Meteor, but at the cost of his own life. So, I'm really worried that a character we all know and love in FF14 could meet the same fate, trying to stop him. And, unfortunately for us, there are 2 mages who could fit this description. One is Master Matoya. She fits the age range of Tella, and I could definitely see her expending her own life force to take down Golbez, if she thought it meant she could save the Source. The other character, I don't even want to mention. I don't even want to say it, because she's hands down my favorite character in the entire game. But Y'shtola could also be a candidate. Golbez's plans may not be truly evil in itself, but the consequences to the Source are extremely dire that Y'shtola won't stand by and let anything happen to it or to any other shard. She will defend them until the end. Ultimately, I feel no matter what our party does to try and stop Golbez, they will be unsuccessful in the end. Golbez will most likely succeed, causing huge ramifications for 7.0, the next expansion. As always though, I want to know your thoughts, your theories on what you think will happen from patch 6.4 onwards. Is Golbez truly evil? Will he succeed? And is Azhdaya his famous shadow dragon? And what about Zero? Is her very name itself a clue as to what she will eventually become? Leave a comment down below, and feel free to hit like or subscribe to help support the channel. My name is Keifi, and as always, I hope you have yourself a great day. May your heart be your guiding key, my friends. And remember, happy gaming!